The phones. Let's go to U.S. Congressman Andy Biggs. Andy, welcome to the 13th anniversary show of Wake Up Tucson. What's up?
Hey, Chris. Congratulations, and appropriately on April 1st. Well done.
It was all done on purpose, so don't you worry. We knew exactly what we were doing with that start date.
You had a plan.
So let's talk about the gaffes first and foremost of the Babylon Bee had the great line, Jen Psaki informs America that Joe Biden does not speak for the office of the president.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you, we've had just a fun time back here poking fun at that. I mean, but it's a really serious thing when you think about it. You got a guy who's fundamentally incoherent, except for when he manages to almost incite World War III. I mean, and so we just look at it and it's like, they walked back what he said.
Right.
Say, well, okay, they're walking it back, and then he gets up and says, "I'm not walking anything back. I'm not." So he walked back to walk back, and so we laugh about it because it shows such an utter lack of coherence and accountability, and you just go, well, this is crazy, and the Democrats just continue to ignore it. The left-stream media ignores it, but it's dangerous as can be because if you're our allies. Let's imagine you're Ukraine. Let's Zelensky. Does that give you any hope? How about if you're Vladimir Putin? Does that say the U.S. is still their leader is incoherent. He doesn't know what's happening. He's still thinking about
it says invade Ukraine. That's what it says.
Yeah, that's what it says. Keep going. Nothing to see here. And then if you're Xi Jinping, you saw that he parked an aircraft carrier in the Taiwanese Strait for a while, and they've increased the sorties. And Kim Jong-un has increased the number of ICBMs he's floating over Japan. And Iran, what do? We hire Russia to mediate between us and Iran as Biden wants to re-enter the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear agreement. I mean, these guys could screw up a one-car parade, and they've managed to do that.
Well, and you're right? The media ignoring this, because if Trump said any of those things that
dead.
Biden said,
yeah,
they would go insane.
Complete toast. Now, isn't Dr. Rand Paul, isn't he starting up a tally of when he makes these gaffes and he's supposed to be showing signs of dementia? When do we talk about this at a national level and you have somebody take a vote on it and then we get the worst thing we could ever happen to have Kamala president?
Well, it's like the line of succession. So we should all be scared to death because the line of succession for the USA is typically would be Joe Biden, of course, and then he would be gone, and then Kamala Harris. That should terrify everybody.
And then up next, our favorite scary ghost.
Yeah, and then you have Nancy Pelosi coming up, but she's deranged. And so there is no happy succession in leadership, in the line of leadership in the United States of America today. It's terrifying to us. Our allies are freaking out. Do we even have any allies left? I mean, even the Solomon Islands are leaving the U.S. And they're negotiating with China right now. If you can believe that. I mean, this is how bad Joe Biden is. The Solomon Islands are saying, it might be safer with China than with the U.S.
So Andy, the real question is who actually runs the executive branch of the United States of America?
Nobody. So it's an oligarchy right now. So
yeah.
all the cabinet leaders are doing their own thing. So you get that's why you get on the Title 42. There's another one where we've had mixed messages literally for 3 months now. It's going away. It's going away this month. That was in March. It's going to go away in March. And then they said, oh, no, we're going to extend it. It's going to be April 1st. And then now it's leaked out. It's going to be May 23rd. And how are we going to deal with that? We think there's going to be 500,000 people coming across the border every month illegally.
Andy, can you explain the Title 42 to folks who aren't familiar with that, please?
Yeah, Title 42, basically, it's real simple. It's if there's a health emergency, CDC can declare a health emergency, and then we can just turn away people. You could stay away at the border. CBP agents. The only problem is if they get on our soil, then now we have to deal with them under Title 8. But if we can keep them off U.S. property, then we can just immediately turn them away and say, no, you can't come, and we're going to send you home or whatever. We don't even have to send them home. Mexico's got to send them home.
So what happens if Title 42 gets rescinded? What are the Border Patrol folks saying is going to happen to the border at that point? What kind of surge are we looking? I mean, the surge is already ridiculous right now.
Yeah, how much worse can it get?
Well, it's going to move from roughly 250,000 people illegally entering to about 500,000 every month.
So
illegally
double.
entering.
Oh my!
It's going to double. And here's the thing. Here's the way to think of it. First 2 weeks in March, 100,000 people illegally are coming across. We apprehend them. We turned away under Title 42 half of them. 50,000 of them we were able to turn away under Title 42. So if 500,000, let's say it's only 300,000. But you would normally turn away about half under Title 42. Well, you can't do that anymore because they said we can't do it. We can't do it. So that means all of them come across. And what's happening now under Title 8 is they're basically rechanneling these people all over the country. So that's an incentive factor, and people just go all over the country, and you move from expecting 2.5 to 3 million people illegally into the country to expecting 5, 6, 7 million people illegally into the country.
So build the wall and open the pipeline. That's all I'm asking. That's all I really want. I want a little bit of cheap gas, and I would like to have a secure border.
That ain't happening anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Joe Biden saying, yes, we're going to, he's giving a pep talk to the oil companies. At the same time, they're trying to find the oil companies, and they're also preventing them. They're slow walking all the leases. So they're saying, you gotta develop on these leases we give you. We're going to slow walk the leases, approval of the leases through the process, and we're going to fine you if you don't develop. But you'll never know when we're going to rescind that approval. So the oil and gas CEOs, who, by the way, BP, the CEO of BP is as woke as any a radical environmentalist in the world, and so they got major problems at BP. But all of this could be fixed so simply. I'd be happy to get a mean tweet about Pocahontas or Pocahontas, whatever Trump would call Elizabeth Warren, just so we could get all of this stuff back. Who wouldn't?
Well, I'd like $1.47 a gallon, and I'd also like ground beef to be $2.99 instead of $7.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Not asking for a lot.
Worse. It's going to get worse. I mean, the one thing that Joe Biden has said that's true is the food shortage is a real thing, and that's going to happen. It's going to happen because of his lousy policies, and the Democrats won't even talk about it. You know what we're doing on the floor today is we're legalizing federal marijuana law. I saw
that this morning.
Yeah.
Will it even make it? Will it go to the Senate? Will it just die in the Senate like it did last time?
It might. It might not. Who knows? But here's the deal: these people that are distributing marijuana, they won't. This bill allows you to distribute to anybody. 6-year-old, 11-year-old, whatever, with impunity. The problem is that now it's going to be a tax law. So now everybody's going to be arrested for taxes. I mean, there is no rationality on the other side of the aisle today.
So Andy, is it a 5-seat spread in the House right now between?
Yes.
With a 5-seat spread and the upcoming elections, the way they look like they're going to go, there are not enough vulnerable Democrats that will come onto the side of sanity, or they'll just get crushed by leadership. And is that where are we at? Is there any light over there?
I don't see any. I mean, there's a few people like on the immigration, the border security issue. There are a few people that agree with us. From Texas, I think Henry Cuellar and a couple others. but they get crushed. So what happens is AOC recruited some radical left-wingers to run against them. And so Henry Cuellar, who was one of the few moderates still left, he was a pro-life, secure the border, keep taxes low kind of Democrat. Now he's got someone who's an absolute raving Marxist lunatic running against him. And so Henry's got to go left. And so he's talking the game, but I don't think we can even get a vote on it. And the leadership won't allow a vote to be taken on border security. They kill that. And so it's really dim. It's really dim right now.
Give us one positive thing that we can think about before we say goodbye right now. What do you got for me? Give me something positive. I don't want to end on just on that kind of a note. Anything? What do you got?
Okay, so what I've got is it looks like our two Democrat senators are joining Manchin and a couple other Democrats to put pressure on the administration to not repeal Title 42. That's important, and I'll just tell you, it's important that all of your listeners let Sinema and Kelly know that they shouldn't confirm KBJ. She'll be the most radical justice in American history. But those are two important things. They can still fight on that confirmation, and also I have hopes that maybe Title 42 is losing. Title 42 repeal is losing steam because of Democrat senators who have some rationality.
There are definitely a few coming out against.
And we've got a caller with one question. Can Article 4 of the Constitution be invoked for an invasion on the southern border?
I think so. I think it is an Article 4, Section 4 issue. I was asked this morning on a different interview, and my position is yes. I think the governor of Arizona should militarize our National Guard, get them down on the border, make sure DPS is down on the border, and I think we should be just telling people right now, you cannot come into the country, and force that, and force the federal government to come in and say, oh, wait a second, we're controlling the border, because they're not controlling the border. I think we win that case before a federal court.
Don't think Doug's going to do that.
I was like, does Ducey have the guts to do it?
Yeah, I mean, he's a lame duck. What else has he got to let the loose?
Okay, great. Get all the Republican elected officials to get on his backside and make him happen.
That hasn't done anything in the past. He's patting himself on the back for getting rid of an emergency declaration yesterday. So, Andrew, thanks for all that you do. Keep fighting, and we'll talk soon. All right.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Later, man. Congressman Andy Biggs.